Hey guys, before we dive into today's episode of the Tales from the Needle Tattoo Podcast, I gotta tell you about our awesome sponsor, Killer Ink Tattoo Supply. If you're in Europe and serious about your tattoo game, this is the place to go. Killer Ink features top brands like world famous ink, Cheyenne Professional Tattoo Equipment, FK Irons, Kurosumi, and they're, for example, the exclusive distributors in Europe for Hustle Butter Deluxe. Basically, whatever you need to elevate your art, they've got it. And here's the best part, use our code TFTN10 at checkout for your first purchase and save 10% off your first order. For instance, you'll get 119 euros off a Cheyenne Solnova Unlimited machine. That's some serious savings, folks. Find everything you need at tftn-podcast.com or in the show notes and don't miss out. And now have fun with the episode.
When I was younger, I was very much rebellious and angry, and I was like trying to prove my point to people and trying to, they have to know that. And with the time, as older as I get, the visions I have, the experience I have, it's so holy, it's so sacred.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Tales from the Needle Tattoo Podcast. My name is Fury1. I'm talking to tattoo artists from all around the world. This is why we are doing this episode today in English. And today we are excited to feature a very, very special guest from Cologne, Germany. I know her since a couple of years now. It's Lorena Morato. Lorena is acclaimed for her extraordinary fusion of spirituality and vivid psychedelic neo-traditional tattoos. And Lorena, why don't you introduce yourself to our audience, if you might?
Hello, Zeb. Hello, everyone. So my name is Lorena Morato, and I am Brazilian. I'm based in Cologne, Germany. And I have my shop, my studio, which is the Golden Times Atelier. Yeah, and I'm tattooing for over 16 years.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
I was just checking out your website before and it said 14 and I was like, no, I didn't knew that you also started like in that range where I started tattooing, like in 2010-ish.
No, like the website is pretty old, so my boyfriend has to update it. It's been 2 years. Oh my God. Yeah, it's 16 years now.
Crazy. So you started around 2008, right?
Yeah, 2008, something like that.
And you're originally from Brazil, if I got it right.
Yes, I'm from Brazil. I come from a very small town in the state of Minas Gerais. So my state is right in the middle of Brazil. And we are like, where I come from, it's so funny because it looks really like Texas, like these Western movies.
Okay.
It's really, there is no beach, there is no forest. And it's very dry and like savanna, desertic and very hot.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is the city where I come from, it's really like a country city, like with rodeos and...
Oh, really? With ranches and stuff and people wearing hats.
It is.
Cool.
Horses on the streets. Yeah.
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 And so when did you decide to come to Germany?
Oh my God. It was like, I didn't decide it. It just happened. So it was like when I was like a teenager, a punk, I met a friend in Argentina, Buenos Aires, and this friend used to go to Barcelona, to Spain to work in a cafe where her parents work. And, we were teenagers. And then one time she invited me to come to Europe. Mm-hmm. To work as a bartender and take some money, go back to South America. And then I came. Everything went wrong. But I got a job as like au pair. Mm-hmm. And then I just stayed in Europe. And, I never went back because I met my ex-boyfriend. It was a guy from Cologne.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's why I end up in Germany. So it was definitely not planned.
And what do you like about Germany so far?
Oh my God, I like Germany. I like Germany. I like that Germany is so safe. Like, I come from Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really like for us Brazilians to live in Germany is really cool because it's so safe. You can walk on the streets in the evening as a girl, And I like Christmas markets.
Yeah.
I love
totally
them.
relatable.
Yes, I really love this. And I've been to the south of Germany where the nature is really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I made friends and I like my German friends a lot and my German clients. They are awesome. I really like Germany.
Have you ever been out of Cologne tattooing yet? I mean, not with guest spot, but with a shop, because I remember like when we met first, it was about 2011, 2012-ish.
Oh my God.
And you were, and you were tattooing. I was just about I started in 2010, so I wasn't not quite far and I haven't had a name and stuff. But I visited you while you were tattooing an old friend of my girlfriend from that time in Oberhausen, I think.
Oh my God.
Yeah. You remember?
Oh my God. So I worked in Oberhausen with my friend Frank and at this FBI tattoo.
Yeah.
And Dirk was the owner. And oh my God, I had so much fun there. It was in my very beginning. I'm so grateful for those guys. It was really, really, oh my God, so long.
Yeah, that's definitely quite a ride.
Yeah. So I used to guest spot there in Oberhausen, and I used to guest in Bochum at the old full color tattoo.
Oh, cool.
Long time ago. And I used to work at Serious Piercing in Düsseldorf in my very beginning. So, all those people, they supported me a lot. And yeah, it was like crazy times.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's been quite a ride. I also know Serious Piercing.
Oh my God.
I think my ex-girlfriend also had an apprenticeship there, but I'm not quite sure. Was it Wildcat? I don't know. No, I think it was probably Serious.
They had like some partnership with Wildcat.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my God. I basically started there. It was like good memories.
Sure. And I remember that I was also blown away by your work even from that time. And when you said it was quite the beginning, we've been to quite a ride now. So
thank you. Well,
have you learned tattooing in Germany or in Brazil?
Oh my God. So I learned in Germany. My beginning was quite tough because I was living in Barcelona with this guy, my ex-boyfriend. He moved there because, I had a job there like bartender, au pair. I used to give flyers on the streets, everything. So he kind of moved there. But I always wanted to be a tattoo artist. I was always saving to buy a machine. But then we had to come to Germany because things in Barcelona were very hard for work and, So I arrived here and I tried to get apprenticeship in so many places, but no one wanted to give me an apprenticeship. which was bad because it took me so long to figure out stuff,
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, I started tattooing at home in Germany, which I don't recommend.
It's pretty funny because we've had it in the last podcast. I think that almost 80% of my guests haven't had like a regular apprenticeship, including myself. So most of the people there are self-made and everybody's like the same. Yeah, I did it that way, but I recommend to do a good apprenticeship. And we know why.
Me too. Oh my God. So you also didn't have one?
No.
Oh,
never.
It was so difficult because I was always drawing, and I came to Cologne and I knocked in so many doors. But, somehow I kind of understand like, who is this girl?
Yeah, I mean, probably, I don't know how your drawing skills were back then, but it was also quite limited about the studios that you had there in the place. And usually, I don't know how it was in Cologne, but I think it was also quite not too much. And so you haven't had any options left.
Yeah, it was so less. I remember back then, like so less tattoo shops around. And yeah, now we look, it's like in my street, there will be like, I think 1, 2, 3, there will be like 3 or 4.
Okay.
My
that's
street
much.
is so small. Yes.
That's really a lot.
Yeah.
But Cologne is, my wife is actually from Cologne, and I like Cologne pretty much. And I used to guest spot there also in a shop from my friend Carrie, who was called The Collector. It was close to the Dome, I think. How was it for you, especially in the last couple of months? I don't know how much in advance you are booked, but is there anything that you also recognize, like a decline in clients recently? Not recently, but in the last months, years?
So, well, when I open my books, I'm like crazy. I close my books like 1 year. So I'm booked for 1 year, and I have like, now it's going very good for me. But, for some people, I'm hearing a lot of like tattooers that are not that booked anymore. Some of my guests, in the shop, and I don't know what it could be. Luckily, I have my clients. Everything is fine. And I am very grateful. Wow. Like really, really grateful for that. And I'm also doing a lot of big tattoos. So maybe, this is a good thing, because then the people booked a lot of appointments. Sometimes they need a break, and then after some months they come back. But yeah, for some of my guests and some friends, it's been tough times. I don't know. It could be like after the war and the inflation, but somehow I think it's a lot of tattoo shops more than in the past.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a lot. It's a lot of shops, a lot of tattooers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty funny because regularly, like, it's been a hot topic on this podcast for ages now, and everybody's like the same, like, yeah, we haven't had something to do with marketing before and to advertise and everything, but things changed in the last 3 or 4 years.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Now we need to have like a pretty good marketing strategy to get booked if you haven't had a name so far.
I agree. Even I think if you build a name in the last years, I think even that, but in my opinion, sometimes it's always good to be like, to keep like a bit updated,
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Just stay with everything. How is it for you? Like, do you care so much about Instagram and stuff?
Oh man, if I could, I wouldn't have one.
Just distracts you from things that are really important.
Yeah, I think, as you said, we have to be like, to have a good strategy of marketing. Nowadays, I agree a lot. And Instagram takes a lot of time to edit the videos. I think you know that very good.
Yeah.
And I never learned anything about editing videos. I wish I could, because the thing is, what I talked to some friends about this topic is like, if you have fun doing this, like the reels, for example, right? Like the posts, and like, if you have fun, it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
But if you don't have much fun with stuff like that, yeah, that could be a problem, because it takes a lot of time.
Sure.
Yeah, and I have fun, like, I don't know much about editing stuff. I just use some apps to try to do nice reels. And the thing is, I have fun doing that. I kind of like it.
I think this is the most important thing, because you don't want to do all the other stuff that everybody else does. So you need to find something pretty much authentic, on how you can play this Instagram or TikTok, whatever, like the social media channel. Because also, when you look at the content that is a hot topic right now, it's usually like pretty poorly edited and just looks pretty raw, just like opening your cell phone and then just talk inside and then upload it without anything else. And usually this works. So especially when you're going on platforms like TikTok and whatever, it's rad how, so sometimes this is funny, because you don't see in Germany, we have a saying, you don't see the tree because of the forest, the single tree.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's that easy. So probably you can just figure out a way that entertains you, a way that you find great, and then just start with playing this channel.
Yeah, it's true. But like, as I said again, I wish I could learn more about editing because I have fun. And sometimes I see another day, like I think yesterday, I saw one of the reels you posted.
Oh.
And I was like, damn, how he does that.
Yeah,
so
the thing
good.
is,
what?
Thank you so much, really.
Oh my God.
I don't know which video you have seen, but
it was one of the last ones that you post, well, also with some people from your shop.
Okay. Yeah. So regularly I'm working with a team. And sometimes I'm doing stuff. So like I have an editor for my self-filmed stuff. And I also have we have a collaboration with a movie maker here from Jena, who does some stuff for us. We are filming this Downtown for Real stuff with it. Yeah. And so because I don't have time to edit this kind of stuff. I mean, I can edit by myself, but it will take ages because I'm not into it, like with tattooing, for example, how the process is. So it doesn't take much to do like a small tattoo. If you're not tattooing on a regular basis, this is like a quest for you, So
exactly. Oh my God. And like having like being a full-time tattooer and like drawing and yeah, there is not much time. So I was always wondering, I was like, oh my God, his videos are so good. How he does that.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate
really
it.
Good.
I will tell everybody.
Yeah. And actually, like, because the thing is, I keep booking people in my free days. And I promised myself that next year I will reduce my working days a lot. And the thing is, when they give me an interesting project, I'm like, oh, I book you. But then I don't have free days in the end.
Yeah, sure.
Like I have very less free days. I do have them. But like, this is something I would really like to get into, this like studying more about photography and editing and cinema stuff. I really would love to do that, but yeah, you need a lot of time.
So if you're from Cologne and if you're listening, just drop Lori a DM. Then probably we'll set you up because like Cologne is like one of the best media cities in Germany.
That would be so great if I could have some people, to help me like to do stuff in the shop like you do. I would appreciate.
Yeah, sure. And I mean, it's fun because for me, it's like I'm doing the what and my collaboration partners do the how,
Wow.
So it's like, and it also is fun for me to imagine all this crazy stuff that we are filming. And if you find like interest in this stuff, it's pretty interesting, the topic also for yourself. I mean, like all of us are photographing on a regular basis because of our work, and so it's probably just normal.
But with this, like I think like you have to have a lot of imagination too, like how to make the videos. This counts a lot because I don't have that much imagination. My reels it's just like, oh, show the tattoo, show me tattooing. And a lot of people, they do so much cool stuff because they have so much imagination, but I'm not good in that.
But it doesn't look like it actually, because when I check out your profile, it actually seems so really interesting, and I don't also think that I'm doing something interesting by myself. So I need to make it bigger than it is, So if I don't have anything to tell, I'm just doing like a good edited video and then I can make something out of maybe nothing, So
maybe, yeah, we cannot really like look to like give ourselves the critics. I think it's more like the outside, what the people see.
Yeah.
Because like, oh no, your videos are very creative for me. And yeah, there is a girl, I met her in the Gods of Ink. We worked together side by side and she's so amazing. Yeah. So she's doing like amazing videos and reels, so creative, like, and she's like, I think she studied a bit of like cinema editing and like, it's so amazing, her videos. And I look to her stuff and I'm like, wow, I like that.
What's her name?
Maísa. She's actually from Brazil.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, she's actually from Brazil. She's a traveler tattooer, and she's a lot of fun. And her stuff but when you meet her in person, you can see that her personality is exactly what she shows.
Ah, okay. So, this is authentic.
Yeah, she's very authentic, and the videos that she does is like really amazing. I like that.
You should do something like video series about going to the rainforest and stuff,
Oh my God, yes, I'm going again in August. And I will
really?
Yes, I will do some stuff this time. I have to plan the way I'm gonna show the travel, but yeah, I'm going again.
Cool. So, and you said you are from a region in Brazil where it's like pretty much deserty. How come that you are so interested in all this indigenous people, also in cultures and stuff? So you have a lot of clothes that are inspired by this kind of stuff, and you always look like you are inspired by these tribal people. Yeah, it's so cool. And so this is why I would like to know, so what's the connection?
So, like Brazil has still a lot of tribes in most of the states. So it was a tribal country before the colonizers arrived. And the very interesting thing is that in my town, where I born, in this little town, there was a tribe.
Oh.
And my grandmother used to tell me stories because, tribes, you don't have documents. You only have stories that pass through generations. So my grandmother, her grandmother was an indigenous woman that was from this tribe. So the way my grandmother used to tell me stories, and it's kind of sad because not how the tribal people were taken by the colonizers. So my grandmother was a woman from that tribe. Oh. And my city, where I born, received the name of that tribe.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, so the city where I come from, the name is Abaeté. And that was a tribe from the Abaeté people living there. And since I'm a kid, my grandmother used to tell me stories of how her grandmother was taken. It's kind of sad. So our lineage started. But I don't know. The funny thing is, like, since I'm a kid, it's in the blood. I was always very fascinated with tribes from Mexico, like from Chiapas, like this super revolutionary tribe, the Zapatistas. And I was also very fascinated with like North American tribes and indigenous mythology since I am very, very little, So I think the connection was already there. And and then my grandfather has European roots.
Okay, best of both worlds.
Yeah. So actually my grandmother and my other aunts, they had like very indigenous features. It's because the father of my mom, he has like Italian roots. So we are like this big mix,
Wow, crazy. Yeah. That's really crazy.
And so it started very early. And then when I was like a teenager, I was also raised, with this. In Brazil, it's a very mixed country. We had like heritage from the indigenous free people, from the Africans, European. And my grandmother had like a pagan religion that mix like religion from tribes of Africa and also the indigenous deities, So it's a big mix. So I was like raised in this background already.
Oh, cool. And what do you like the most about it, except for like having such a great history?
Well, I like the most because like since they raised me, since I born my grandmother, my mom, I really like that they this kind of pagan religions, it's more like about the elements of nature, that they all believe that God is like nature, and each deity or each guardian, it represents a force of nature. Like, for example, in Brazil, we have the goddess of like the sea, Iemanjá. She belongs to this like candomblé religion or Umbanda, that the religion of my grandmother, that mix these like indigenous elements with the Africans. So, and there is like another goddess, Oya. She is the goddess from the storms and lightning,
Ah, cool.
Yes, so every deity of them, it's related to a force of nature, and that's I really like that.
This is something that is almost lost, I think, in modern civilizations, to respect the nature, to live not on the cost of nature, but with nature together, and just respect your environment kind of, so
yeah.
But I think this is pretty much interesting, because there was also like a strange thought that I had the other day, that every indigenous tribe has also this gut belief, so
yeah.
No matter if they have been like visited from other civilizations, of course, then you get inspired and stuff, especially with colonizing and everything. But sometimes it's funny that the humans always seem to have this God belief,
Yeah. Since very ancient times, right? Very ancient. Yeah. And and they have like each tribe, they have like different names for the guardians, the deities, and everything, and like for them it's like God is nature.
So is it like, are you like a very religious person, or is it just more because of the culture that you would say?
I believe in nature. I believe that definitely there is a force there, I am not a Christian. I am not Catholic, because I was not raised with this background since I born, I mean, these Brazilian religions that my grandmother worshipped has a little bit of this Christian elements, because as I said, Brazil is a big mix. It's like they call this syncretism. But I was never really raised with like Christian background. In the church, I'm not familiar with this environment.
Yeah.
but I definitely believe that there is some force, that holds the universe. Like I believe in that.
Have you ever believed in that, or did your belief change during the years because of certain happenings, let's say, or is it something that you believe since you are a kid because it's like the belief of the tribe?
I believe in that, I think, since early ages, because my mom, she was also a lot into like witchcraft and Wicca stuff,
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah. So I always had like this kind of belief, but funny thing, when I became a teenager and I was like, I started, into the punk scene and and going angry and against the system. And, I have a lot of friends, they were atheists, that they didn't believe in God or anything, not even nature. So, a part of when I was a teenager, I used to be like, no, I don't believe in anything. But I think in the deep, I always believed in something. But the connection with the indigenous tribes, I knew since I born that my grandmother was like an indigenous woman about this tribe, but I was not really connected to that. But when I went to Brazil, to the rainforest, and I started like taking ayahuasca with my some guides in Brazil, some friends that they guide really beautiful ceremonies. They do a very serious and nice professional work. Then I got like insights about that I should search more for this connection to my ancestors, where I really came from, you know?
Yeah.
So this really connection, like going to the Amazon and trying to dig deeper, was when I started like taking ayahuasca like 10 years ago.
Oh, crazy. That's a lot.
Yeah. And this really changed my life, my perspective. It changed a lot.
But for me, honestly, this is also a thing where I changed everything. Like with the first psychedelic experiences that I haven't never taken ayahuasca before because I researched a lot about it. I also read this book about, I don't know if you know it. It's called The Immortality Key.
Oh, wow. I don't know.
The Secret Religion with No Name.
Wow.
And there they are talking about, it's actually not too old, probably like 3 or 4 years it came out. I watched it when I checked this guy out, Brian Mukeshu or something like that he's called. And he wrote this book about the connections of drugs and also the early Christians, but also the ancient Greeks. And there was this ritual in Greece which they did like, I think 2000 years long. And so at first there was a ceremony. It took around a week and people got this what's it called? The journey from Persephone, the daughter of Demeter, into the abyss of Hades.
Awesome.
And the end of the ritual would be that the people were taking this, what's it called? I don't know the English name. So it's a certain drink everybody got. And the funny part, not funny, but the cool part about it was that there were from rich people to poor people all mixed up. And it was forbidden by death. No, you don't say by death, right? But it's like prohibited under the death penalty to say what happens during the ceremony. Wow. And they told everybody that when you see the other side, when you are alive, that you will become immortal.
Wow.
And so actually right now they are thinking that they spiked it with this ergot fungi, you know? So the thing LSD is made from. And this is actually pretty crazy because a lot of good people that we also know in history, everybody has like this certain link to psychedelic substances and stuff. Totally. And this is also what I'm interested in DMT, because I don't believe it's just a trip, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And like, it's like all about mind expansion, right? And you can see like a lot of like civilizations, they had, I believe that they had rituals with a certain kind of like psychedelic to connect, right, with the gods, with which each thing that they believed, like the Egyptians, for example.
Yeah.
And they are like they were a society that they were very much connected to death, but, you know, in a good way, like as transformation. And I really believe that they used substances like that in their ceremonies and even to connect with the other realms and to get all the knowledge that they had. You know, so like I heard like rituals about the blue lotus, you know.
And I've been to Egypt last year in October, and because of all this, I checked everything out. We've been to the temples because my wife is half Egypt and her dad wanted to show us around. So we've been to Cairo and to Luxor, and we visited a couple of temples there, and it's just crazy impressive, especially like the temples, because you see the blue lotus pretty often. So it's one of the, I have forgotten the name of the temple where we've been to. It's quite a ride from where we have been, but this was full of blue lotus signings, and it was just something where I was like, cool. So probably they knew something we didn't.
And they definitely were so smart that they didn't separate themselves to the realm of the plants, of the animals, you know. They had this vision that we were one with like, and what the plants has to offer, and they could be like establish a partnership with us to give us the keys to reach realms like this, knowledge like this, like the blue lotus, like the ancient people in the rainforest with the ayahuasca, because the ayahuasca is like a vine and a leaf, and like how the hell you will know this information that when you mix this vine and this leaf you reach that,
Yeah, this is so crazy, because it's like this Mao, not in Germany, I know the word, it's hammers, but it's just something you have to mixture these two ingredients to get this psychedelic stuff, because the TMT otherwise is broken down immediately by the body, right?
Oh my God, yes, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, it's fascinating. It's really fascinating. And yeah, they definitely knew a lot more.
So the temple was the temple of Dandara.
Oh my God.
I don't know which god or goddess it was given to, but it was really, really crazy. So, and this is what I mean about all this cultural stuff. And this is also in the book that I read, that how much the Christians stole from the ancient Greeks and then modified it kind of, because this ritual got off. And this is actually what why the Christians started, according to this book, with the wine of Jesus, because this wine that they drank at first was also spiked. And there are also hints inside. So this guy has also been to the Vatican, also to the secret archives.
Wow.
And he finds a lot of proof. I mean, I'm just interested in this kind of stuff, so I can tell if it's bullshit or if it's legit. But it's really, I've read it like twice now, and it's really nice. So I can definitely recommend it, because it's also fun, not funny, but cool to see that it's not completely bullshit, because nowadays I think people are getting way more sensitive about this psychedelic stuff, because it's it's not only drugs and getting high and stuff, and wasting your life on everything, but it has a purpose.
Yes, exactly. But what I think psychedelics is not for everyone. I totally get that, and I accept. And like, for example, in our, I am helping a friend of mine in an art retreat in Peru, that mixes like a painting technique, and then it's in a Shipibo village, and we meet there, and it's like 12 days, I think, of painting, and then sitting in ceremony with the maestros, and then combining the visions that we have into our art. It's a very nice retreat. But to make part of the retreat, you have to reply a very big form about your mental health and about your family background. This is very important. So psychedelics for me, they are the key for a lot of stuff, because I believe in that. I had only good experience with that, and they helped me a lot. But I am aware that it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
And depending on your mental health, you should definitely maybe not try, or be very careful. I'm aware of that. But for me, psychedelics, they are the keys for a lot of things.
Definitely. I mean, if you have any experiences with it, and then think about religion and stuff, and all the stuff that happens also in the Bible and everything, then you get a certain glimpse about how how these, let's call it hallucinations, or how these visions is the better word, how these visions occurred. Because I don't think that most of them came naturally, and I don't think God gave it to them, probably in form of this substance. But I also think, and this is something that actually opens your mind about this topic, also when it comes to, if you think about death and stuff, because we don't know where we come from. And I read a lot also about these trip journals.
Yeah.
So And some people say that the place where they are going when they have this breakthrough and the ego is completely broken down, that it feels kind of familiar to them. Like, I've been to this place before. I don't know why, but you ever made this experience?
Oh, yeah. Oh, many times. Many times. In ayahuasca, for example, I think this can be pretty much reached. I think every time, I take some LSD and the mushrooms on ceremonies too, because I don't really like psychedelics as a recreative.
Nah, it's not for
I'm not into that. Maybe when I was younger.
Yeah.
But no. This is a stage that, I don't know, like when I was younger, I was very much rebellious and angry, and I was like trying to prove my point to people and trying to, they have to know that. And with the time, as older as I get, and I am into sitting ceremony with the Spibo, with the Yawanawa, the visions I have, the experience I have, it's so holy, it's so sacred, it's so beautiful, deep, that, nowadays I keep it for myself. And I really wish that if people are curious and they have a good guide, a good, a safe place to take that, I definitely wish this for so many people, because this is it's incredible. And when you have an experience like that, when your ego just leave and you are in this realm that you really feel this warmth and wow, this is where I come from. This is welcome home. It's I don't know how to explain, but it's really wow, I come from this place.
This is so interesting. And the point that you mentioned before, I think this is the most important part about it. So we are not just glorifying, like you said, the recreational use of psychedelics. It's not, because psychedelics for me are a tool.
Yes.
So it's something, especially like we had a guest artist over from Peru also, and he was telling me about how they deal with ayahuasca there in Peru. And he was saying it's something like going to the doctor, but not to the doctor because you have a broken bone, but because you have spiritual issues.
Yes.
And you are getting rid of this with a shaman. And this is everything that is all about. So you have to do it in a ritual with an experienced guide. It's not something that you're doing at home with your friends, and who can take the most. So this is very disrespectful about the substance. You can smoke weed or drink alcohol if you're into excess, but if you really want to not learn something, but get something out of it, you need to have a certain question that you want to get answered while having this trip, I think.
Totally. I totally agree. And I've been to Peru last year, and I was with the Spibo. And it's really when we arrived at the village, I never will forget the words of the maestro, because the Spibo people, they are the guardians of ayahuasca.
Oh, okay.
They are the ones. The medicine come from them, and then it's spread to all other tribes. But the Shipibo people, they are the guardians of the ayahuasca. So they see their healing centers, because it's legal in Peru. They are, like hospitals. And the maestro told us that. He said, we arrived and they said, this is a hospital. Everyone that come here, that enters this place, they are sick and they leave this place cured. And for the Spibo is like that. Every sickness that manifests physically, it starts first in the soul.
Do you believe this? I
believe that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I really believe that. And a lot of issues, it's also, they believe that it's also can come from your lineage, from your ancestors, stuff that your ancestors couldn't solve can manifest in your body in this life because of the ancestors. And if you believe in this, and if you go to a maestro, a Spibo maestro, they will start working with the ancestors and curing your soul. What is very beautiful about the Shipibo is that they sing songs without instruments, only in their voice, and they are called Icarus. And these songs are like, they are calling the guides while during the ceremony. These are healing songs, they believe. And they believe like when they sing and when you are into ayahuasca influence, they can channel and they can cure parts of your soul with their songs.
Mm.
And their songs are so powerful that I cannot even explain. It's like something very special happened to me in a ceremony when the maestro started singing for me. I was hearing the voice of my father singing to me.
Oh, crazy.
And when I opened my eyes, I saw the image of my father and he was singing this song to me. And it was the voice of him. And this was one of my most beautiful experiences. I don't even know if I should share here, but I'll share a little bit. And this experience with the Spibo people healed the relationship I had with my father. And then I met my father, and nowadays I have a completely different relationship with my father. So amazing. And I love him so much, So I think because of like the Shipibo people and ayahuasca, I really could work in a lot of things I had,
Yeah. So I think to the people that don't have any experience, I think you can just, it takes you to bird perspective from time to time, because sometimes it gives you a different view about stuff. And ayahuasca is pretty well known for that it confronts you with your true self, with your inner self. And if you are acting as somebody that you aren't, it will tell you and you will see it, and it will probably be little bit, let's say, painful to see this. And it gives people, I think, a better idea about themselves. Also, like I like to use mushrooms as tools when I'm not feeling that well. This is only for me, like we have said it before, so it's a disclaimer. We don't want to encourage anybody to do something illegal and stuff, but this is just experience that we have. And for me, this is it was, for example, during the COVID lockdown where I had plenty of time, it was something taking like a microdose or something, a bigger dosage of mushrooms, and then go for a walk. And whenever I don't feel well, I did this. And then I'm just thinking, just thinking about stuff. And it helped me definitely a lot, because sometimes it's just, you are so distracted in this modern world with everything and also with ego stuff, and that so you don't have, that you're not looking inside of yourself. And I think this can help you if you are experienced to get a little bit further.
It's so true. I agree a lot, because again, they are like mind expansion tools. And I really think like psychedelics like made me really be aware. It's not that like some people think they go take ayahuasca with a maestro and they are healed and they will be like a superhuman. And it's not that. The
requires
plants,
work.
Yeah. Like the plants will give you the vision. They will open your consciousness. Sorry for the English.
No, it's perfect.
They will open your consciousness and they will show you the way. They will show you the mirror. You definitely will feel ashamed in so many ceremonies, and then you will see definitely some of your demons. But after that, it's about what you're going to do with your life. It's like they show you, they give you the vision, and then we have to work on ourselves. But like, again, mushrooms, they are amazing. And I truly believe in their power of healing sickness, such as like, so much anxiety, depression, I really believe
I think so too.
In their...
And it's also common knowledge. So it's not something of an opinion of people that are, into this kind of stuff, but it's actually like being pretty much well researched.
It is. So, for example, I have some friends in Brazil, and they are part of, let me call, I don't know if I could call an organization, but it's a group of scientists that they are making a lot of researches with psychedelics, and they are kind of fighting for this kind of plants like mushrooms, serve be legal in therapy. So they are a group of therapists and scientists that are like gathering and doing a lot of research, a lot of studies to show how helpful they are and to make it legal in therapy. So these friends, I think I have 3 friends of mine that they are like, one, she's a journalist, another friends, they are psychologists, therapists, scientists, and they are in this organization. And it's amazing. It's really amazing, the studies that they present.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's really great.
There's also some places in Berlin, I think, because I also have friends who are scientists and who are into this kind of stuff and also on the research. And I think there's also some trial researches about psychedelic use when it comes to depression. So some clinical studies actually happening in Germany, which is pretty rad. I mean, like USA, for example, is pretty much well advanced when it comes to this, especially like places, Oregon, Colorado, and whatever. And it's so crazy to be in this part of the history, because I think we are witnessing the time where people will overcome their prejudices about also certain substances, and they will check what is, or not check, but rediscover what is in there for them, except for getting high,
Exactly. And I really hope this happens, because like the plants, one thing I also learned with the Spiegel about that, they believe that each plant has a spirit, and these spirits, they can cure you, but you have to honor these spirits, because if you abuse certain plants, it's like you abused the plants, so they will make you slaves of them, because you disrespected the essence and the spirit of that plant that is to be used as something for healing. So the Shipibo people, they believe in that. Like, for example, one of the most like disrespected plant is the tobacco.
Yeah.
And then you see the level of addiction in our society of tobacco and other plants, So the tobacco is very sacred for some indigenous cultures, South America, North America, and they smoke. They don't inhale, they only hold the tobacco. It's the leaves, the pure leaf. They don't mix with anything, because it's like they honor the spirit of that plant. And it's a very powerful guardian for cleansing on ceremonies when you need to be support. When you are facing your shadows, or when it's really hard, you smoke the tobacco and pray for the spirit of that plant. And it's such a powerful guardian, and it should be smoked only in moments of like ceremonies, or moments when you feel that you need like a spiritual support.
Yeah.
So the tobacco is like one of the plants that went like so disrespected, and it got a lot of people addicted.
Yeah, it's not meant to smoke like a kilogram a day of tobacco. So regularly you should also use it like a plant, like you should use coffee, like you should use weed,
Yeah.
Like, I'm not the best example for it, but being high 24/7, doesn't make a deal. And no matter how good a substance is, smoking 2 grams a day of it is probably not good. So
exactly. It's all about balance. So
it just gets rid of it. Yeah, so cool. I can talk about this topic for a lot of time. I'm going to send you the link to the book. Probably it's also interesting for you. But I would like to come back also to the rainforest there. And what was the craziest experience, except for the ayahuasca stuff that you did there?
Oh my God. The rainforest, it's a place that it's very challenging for me to stay there. I love there because I learned a lot of lessons, but wow. Oh my God. I could the way to the Brazilian Amazon. My God, the journey to arrive there was so tough. But one fun fact is like, I love nature and stuff, but I am so scared of seeing insects.
Really? Oh, this is probably the wrong place then.
Oh, I know. And like cockroaches. Oh, I hate them. it's so bad. When I see cockroaches, I could see snakes or, but cockroaches. And yeah, there are many bad stories of them. Like, and they are really huge and they fly.
Yeah.
Like, invading my tambo, landing on my leg in an ayahuasca ceremony.
Oh, shit.
This
probably a sign.
This was so bad. Yeah, it was a sign. And I learned a lot of it. But yeah, and I think the heat in the rainforest is very tricky. The humidity is very tricky. And there was a situation. I was sleeping in my tambo is this little huts that the Shipibo has. Like, you have your own hut. And I woke up 2 a.m. with fire in the forest. We had like some ecological bathrooms, toilets.
Yeah.
In the village with this like bio toilets. I don't know. We think someone smoked the mapacho, is the sacred tobacco. And they kind of threw this, and it's very dry. It was 2 a.m. I woke up. I was feeling smell of smoke, and it was like 4 meters beside my tambo. There was a huge fire.
Shit.
And I was like, I just took all my things in my backpack, my passport. And then I start screaming to the village, fire, fire. And then everyone woke up, and it was like a huge fire in this toilet. And, it's just the adrenaline of being in the rainforest and like the animals and the fire. But luckily we got to put the fire down, like all the village came with buckets of water. So yeah.
Yeah, you don't want the rainforest to burn.
This was so crazy. Yeah. Very scary.
What do you eat in what is like the tribal food that you are getting there?
When we are with the Shipibo, there is like a lady, the thing is when you are in a retreat there, they kind of adapt a lot for our society,
Yeah.
But normally they eat a lot of rice, fish, and plantains. The banana.
Cool. Yeah. The cooking bananas, the big ones.
Yeah, so they eat this a lot in the rainforest, like the fish, the plantains, like the yucca, the root.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes they adapt for us because of the retreat, but mostly is like these roots, and I really like them.
Yeah, I should try. Yeah, I think like in the next couple of years, I will definitely try and go on one of these retreats.
You should.
And then I know who I would like to talk to, where I can find it.
Come to us. That's an advertise I will make now. Can I?
Yeah, sure. Of course.
So this year I'm going to help my friend. His name is Unikaya. And he is working with the Shipibo, I think, for over 8 years. And he's speaking the language, Shipibo language. So he is a tattooer and a painter.
Oh, cool.
And he's doing this retreat once a year at this Shipibo-owned center. It's from a Shipibo family. And the retreat is like 12 days in the Peruvian Amazon. And we have like the ceremonies and the painting classes with him. Cool. We go to the hot springs in the Amazon. We sit in ceremony, and there is some activities. So that's the second year I'm going with him, and I'm going to help, and also as a translator. And it's a beautiful retreat that you combine art, painting, and with the ceremony and the healing. So I think for tattooers, for artists, that you are into that topic and you want to have like a very lovely experience. And like, I think 80% of the money goes for the family.
Oh, perfect. Yeah.
Yes.
To preserve cultures.
I'm not earning anything. I go as a volunteer. Just because I really like it,
Yes, sure. But this is really cool because this is something that is really special, also that you have like this connection to have people around who, like you said, who are the guardians of the substance.
Yeah.
And I think this is, I I'm very curious for this topic, and I talked to a lot of people, and I know a lot of people also that tried it before, and also some went to Peru, some went to Brazil, some stayed in Germany and did it here, you know, but it's so many stuff about this topic, which is pretty much so interesting because, I would like to learn about it.
Yeah, you should join us at some point.
Last question that I had is probably a bit private, and it has nothing to do with tattooing. But anyway, what do you think will happen after death?
Wow.
The big ones for
I you know, this is something that I don't question myself that much, because the thing is, when I start questioning this, what will happen after death, the ego comes out.
Oh, okay.
And then the ego is telling, I don't want to die.
Yeah, sure.
I love this life. And I know that this fear is the ego, because when we die, the ego also dies. So I don't know, maybe after death, we are going back to these realms, but not with just our consciousness goals, you know? So I don't really know.
I don't know either. I think, like, for me, I believe in reincarnation, and I'm not quite sure at this point if it's just everything's repeating itself over and over and over again. You know, this is also sometimes because I think about this flashback and how I explain to myself the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, but because for me it's something like, okay, probably you are reborn then. Yeah, but it's so interesting also, this topic for me. And as you said, you know, it's something that I heard also from a lot of people, that they cured their fear of death with this kind of substance, because they know that the ego, like the soul we feel, this is not everything. This is like a little part of something big. So true. And I think so. This is a little part of something big, and our consciousness, in my beliefs, it will carry on. It's immortal. And I think this life here is about experiences and what we're going to learn here to bring to those realms, you know? I think life in Earth here, it's about it's our soul learning stuff that we have to, that the soul wanted to learn, to bring it to these places, you know? And I also believe in reincarnation. I believe in that too. I believe in that. And I don't know, but I think, like, we don't know what we're going to happen. So I try to do the best as I can, living this life here, you know. I am very happy that I work with something that I love, and I travel, and I think life should be about, you know, chasing dreams and having a good life, making good for others. Of course, we do a lot of mistakes, but yeah, I think we should have a good time here. These are very, very beautiful last words, I would say. Yeah. So really cool. There was so much inside. We didn't talk so much about tattooing. I know this, but for me, it's like having people on the podcast, you know, I don't want to know all the stuff that I can read online, you know, because I think you get to know people by asking them the real questions, you know? So true. And this is why, for example, I mean, everybody was saying, like, they find it pretty much interesting to have this, because obviously, like, if I can ask you about your neo-traditional tattoos, which are, by the way, pretty much stunning. Thank you so much. And this amazing carrier that you built, about all this stuff, but you can read all of this on the internet. Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about something that I couldn't be able to find there. So. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah. Okay. So good traditions here in the podcast is that the guest has the last word and can advertise. I mean, you already advertised for the retreat. So if people are interested, where do they find your Instagram? How can they book an appointment and things like that? So the stage is yours. So yeah, the retreat is, it will take place this, let me check, August, September. There is a highlight in my Instagram that the name is Retreat, and you can find the informations there, or just write me via DMs on Instagram,
And if they write me and they want to know more about the retreat, I will send them to my friend, Unikaya, because he is the one organizing the retreat. Mm-hmm. I'm there just to help him. So I will just send the people, to him. And we are nearly full this year. We have, I think, 2 or 3 spots left. So it's pretty nice.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And where do we find the Golden Times Tattoo Atelier?
The Golden Times, it's the Instagram is Golden Times Atelier altogether. And it's in Cologne. And we have a lot of guests, so everything is advertised on the Instagram page. To get appointments with me, you have to wait. My books open, and they open next year. But we have like an amazing resident, Jonas. He's doing blackwork geometry, really beautiful. His Instagram is Open Your Eyes Tattoo, I guess.
I know. Oh, okay, I know him.
Yeah. Just go to the Golden Times Atelier Instagram, and then the people can know about the guests and, send us DMS to book someone or to ask for information. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for doing this. I was really looking forward to this.
Oh,
thank you so much for all the experience that you shared with us. If you guys have any questions, please drop us a comment on Instagram or drop us a comment on the distributing platforms, or just drop us a message, whatever's comfortable for you. Thank you so much, Lori. Everybody else, have a nice week and see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.